Would you die for me?
Yes.
I live for these moments with you.
I'm all yours. The Joker and Harley Quinn are unpredictable.
They are the king and queen of Gotham City. Talk about a romance gone wrong.
Come on, Puddin'! Do it! You don't know whether Harley's gonna, like, laugh, hug you, or, like, shoot you in the face. Stupid bats, you're ruining date night! And then Joker's, like, even worse than that.
I think that the Joker is probably better known than the devil.
Some might say that the Joker is the most famous bad guy in the DC universe.
The trick was to be incredibly respectful of the legacy of the Joker and not tamper with that, yet at the same time.
I remember when I got the call, I had this simultaneous feeling of excitement and dread. Maybe is the right word, because it's not something that you really should do logically.
Because the character of the Joker is so out there, I mean, he's an anarchist, he's crazy. Jared's process of digging as deep as he did was one in which we wanted to support.
Once he was on the set, his voice changed, and he only spoke as Mr. J. Conducted himself as Mr. J. You really couldn't connect with him unless you called him J, Mr. J, Joker. And, you know, it creates an interesting set dynamic when somebody does that.
Everybody gets to sit in the chair. Start with you.
I would go into his trailer and have a conversation with him, and I remember the first time that happened, I was pausing because I realized I was actually having a conversation with Mr. J and not necessarily Jared.
That's right. Welcome. Welcome to my nightmare.
I was in another world. I was in another universe. It's exactly where I needed to be, and it was an incredible experiment, incredible exercise. So, you know, disappearing, going into that rabbit hole was something I never expected.
And when we started to discover who the Joker was and what his process was, we were all like, oh my God, this is freaking genius. I mean, what he was doing was genius.
We continued, my friend. I have a feeling.
To see the cast react to what Jared was doing in the way that they did, when they're all in a scene together, you can feel that energy, you can feel that terror that they feel about what he's gonna do next, who he is, how crazy he is.
I could tell you meant that.
Yeah. You're gonna be my friend.
Stuff.
Are you sweet talking me?
I love this guy. He's so intense.
The interesting thing about this Joker, it's more like the comic books. You do see like the more traditional look of the Joker. Really dark green hair, white skin. I love it because he's got the detail of metal teeth, because at some point someone knocked his teeth out. So to have a version of the Joker in this and have this cool relationship with Harley Quinn, which is relatively new to the age of comic books, it's really fun to see. It's exciting to bring that new element, I think, to film.
There is a...
That was really important to definitely explore her flaws. And David is the guy that's going to delve deeper than anyone for those flaws. That's so cool. I feel like human instinct sometimes to want to be portrayed in a positive light.
Action.
Now that's killer app. And David would always sway us the other way. He's like, no, if he's upset right now, you should say something mean to him right now, because that's what she would do.
When I get mad, I lose control, you know. I don't know what I do till it's done. The kids?
He killed them, didn't you? And so it was really painful at times. We're doing really emotional scenes, and you'd have a character, like Jay's character, or someone really pouring their heart and soul out, and David would come and whisper in my ear and be like, now's when you stab him. Own it! What do you think was gonna happen, huh?
Hey, Harley, come on.
To really dig in and sting them when they were down, that was in her nature, and I couldn't avoid that. I had to explore that as much as I explored, like, the funny side to her.
Know what they say about the crazy ones?
Huh? The look is insane, and the hair and makeup was a real process. I mean, it was a 3-hour process every single day. We'd do the body paint, completely paint me white. Then there were 20 tattoos to put on, and a wig, and then the makeup, and then whatever cuts and bruises, you know, Harley had acquired by that point in the film. So 3-hour process. It was fun though. It's always like the best time to get into your character, and once you look like that, you kind of, I feel ready, like I feel like I'm Harley.
Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
So in Suicide Squad, part of the story is this really epic romance between Joker and Harley.
In the comics, there's been a lot of different versions where it's a little bit antagonistic, it's not a healthy relationship often, and this is like Harley and the Joker are like Bonnie and Clyde in the DC universe.
It's a fascinating love story because it's...
The infamous Harley Quinn.
Pardon?
You want me?
Oh, kinda, Daddy.
That relationship is so interesting. It's just so filled with turmoil, and it's one of those relationships where they're so attached to each other, and it's so dark that they can't get enough of each other.
He married me.
It's the very first time in a movie that I've ever been on where
We delve, how many scenes we do, I just feel like I've only scratched the surface of Harley. Like, it's just a character that's like a bottomless pit of, like, issues. I could play Harley for like 10 years and be happy.
I think the Joker will live forever. I think that he's in some ways the perfect villain. He has stood the test of time, and there will always be a Joker. You may not think so, but he's there, waiting to chew your bloody face off.